paintings go for? Like, something, you know what, like, let's, for example, like mine, like my particular portrait, since people have seen it, how much would that normally go for? Like if it was, displayed somewhere, like either Europe or in some other gallery in the States?
Well, to buy the print, when they would go through that process, the gallery sets its price, but typically between $300 to $500 for each print.
Okay.
And that's typical. What I did for you and that particular thing was I digitally painted. I use a program called Procreate on my iPad Pro, and it functions exactly like regular canvas and oil, because you have to blend the oils and you have to, actually make the motions to actually paint. It's not like a filter that you can bring up an image and apply a bunch of filters to, and next thing you know, you have something that looks like it could be a painting.
Yeah.
And because it's a digital print versus an actual physical ink or oil print, that would be between $300 and $500. The oil prints, I've seen one of mine go for $1,300.
Wow. So, okay, so you are,
my mind.
So it's very impressive, Nick, like all the work that you've done and that you have displayed everywhere. It's very impressive to me. And this is why I was insisting that you call in to the show and you would let everyone know, even though you didn't want to, because you're like, no, I don't really like to talk about myself. But I'm like, no, I want you to, because I want everyone to know, who did the painting, and also the paintings that you're donating. I want everyone to know why I've all of a sudden changed the price from like 40 to 100, because I was like, no, you know what? They have to go for a little bit higher, because like it's only fair, because it's your work. It's, you do such a great job, and I'm very honored and flattered that you've done that for me. I had no idea. And it's amazing, when you don't know who listens to your show until later, you find out. It's like I don't know, maybe it's because I'm so down to earth that I think that everyone is like me, just like regular, normal people that have regular jobs that listen to the show. So when you told me that, what you do, I'm like, wait, what? I was like, you have to call in, Nick. So thank you so much.
And a lot of people don't know that I do this kind of work, and it's really surprising when people look at it and go, "You painted that?" I'm like, yeah, I did. Thanks for the vote of confidence. So, but that's where it comes from, and that's when I saw it, it was a great photograph, and then to be able to kind of blend it, you're a very difficult person to blend colors on, but to blend it and to do it, I just wanted to do that for you. I wasn't anywhere thinking that people might actually want to buy them. But I'm glad they will, and I'm glad it could go to a good cause for you.
Thank you so much, Nick. I love mine. It's so beautiful. I love it. I like it a lot, and thank you so much. I'm so honored, and I'm very flattered that you've decided to do this for me. Like I'm very, very grateful. So thank you, and thank you for calling. I'm so glad you called. Thank you, Nick.
You're welcome. Have a good rest of the week.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. That was Nick. So now you guys know why, they went from like $40 to $100, because it's not like it's not like something that my daughter did. You're getting something from an actual artist. So you guys, this is what you're going to get. You get something good quality. So make sure that you know what I have to do? I got to get the charity, and I'll post it, and whoever wants the paintings, you can donate to that. And as soon as I get notification, then, we'll ship the painting out to you. Dash Radio Discover.
It's special. Biggest. Global. Huh.
Yeah. Woo. Yeah. 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 To say it's complicated, understatement of the year. Well, maybe conflict made it the new flavor in your ear. They know that I'm a problem, that's why everybody's scared. Whatever doesn't kill you can make you an illionaire. Yeah, so turn the headphones up, or make the windows roll up. I make the hands go up when I show up, and I blow up till I pull up. Wait, hold up, girl up in the mirror. Only when I fear her. You say you the realest. I told you I'm the illest. Sick. Hungry. Starving. Not thirsty. Just hungry. Ambitious. Still hungry. Still hungry.
I'm moonwalking on marble floors. Introduce yourself. Rick Ross, I'm just dripping sauce. Bitches see me and they all just wave. Rolls Royce and we call this rave. I fuck up money like I'm Escobar. Ballin', Kobe Bryant, that boy living large. No room for medium, that means you're thinking small. Ferrari, Fergie, switching gears, she rockin' with a boss. I close my eyes, I must be telepathic. Look over haters, triple in my assets. It takes courage to accomplish these things. Fergie's my queen, I'm the king, now come kiss on our rings. Whoa.
Hungry.
El Chapo.
Starving.
Renzel.
Not thirsty. Just hungry.
Ferrari Fergie.
Ambitious. Still hungry. Still hungry.
You're listening to the show. My name is Elizabeth Mazai, and now I can properly introduce my guest. I have in studio John Stagliano, who is, would I say like you're the man of Evil Angel, right?
I started that company, yes. At the moment, though, I feel like the market has told us that we're in a different position than we were in, say, 7 or 8 years ago, when we were pretty close to number one, and it seemed like most of the decisions I made were correct, and we did really, really well.
Yeah.
Since the 2007, 2008, things have been more difficult and more difficult and more difficult, and people aren't buying my movies like they used to. I don't know. Please buy.
You know what?
movies.
Let's blame the internet.
I'd like to still make money. Oh well.
Let's blame the internet
Yes,
because
we'll blame the internet
everything's
on
out there.
everything.
But nobody, not a whole lot of people know that you used to be an exotic dancer before.
Yeah. I used to hang around Hollywood here.
Chippendales, right?
I was in the first show that Chippendales ever did, and I was the only person who lasted more than like 2 weeks of that first group because we came from an ad in Variety.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
Out by
Variety?
Paul Snyder.
Wow.
Paul Snyder brought Dorothy Stratton to Hollywood on the same trip where he promoted that show at Chippendales in 1979. January. Dorothy Stratton and Paul Snyder were the main characters in Star 80 by Bob Fosse, where it was a double murder-suicide supposedly happened.
Yeah.
Dorothy Stratton was a movie star and had an affair with Peter Bogdanovich or somebody. I don't remember. Anyway.
How did Evil Angel evolve? Because I was reading that first you were a Chippendale dancer, and then from there, that's how it started. Like you started kind of having the idea of.
Well, I was a porn fan since I was like 11 or 12, going to find magazines and had a collection, and then went through some problems in 1969 when I broke up with my first girlfriend and threw all my porn out, and then subsequently realized that was a mistake. And then, so I had been a porn fan, and then I started taking dance classes, and I was a Chippendales, and actually in '73 when I was still at UCLA, I answered an ad at the Placement Center. But Bill Margold put up, they were looking for girls mostly, but it was for nude modeling, and I met him, and I wrote a story for a little publication that he had. It was in the news racks and stuff around Hollywood, and then he sent me out on a couple of jobs where I wrote about my experiences, and from that I hung around the porn business for 6 or 7 years or so, just not doing much, just every once in a while doing something. I wasn't very good, nor was I very big. And I wouldn't find work today, probably. I wouldn't hire myself for sure. But in the early 80s, I did some good still picture layouts for 2 or 3 different photographers. And then in '83, after the VCR was becoming really popular and there wasn't product shot on video, I produced my own video because I was over 30 years old at the time, 31, and ready to do something else in my life. So I saved my money and I produced a movie on my own with my own money, and it made money. It was successful, and I learned on the job.
Wow. So from that one movie, which movie was this?
It was called Bouncing Buns.
So from that movie that you've done and it was successful, then is that when you realized that you wanted to continue being like a producer and open up?
The goal always was to make enough money to do some other artsy-fartsy projects that I wanted. One of which I did, which was a dance show in Las Vegas for almost 4 years I had, which was my explicit goal when I got into porn, was I wanted to make enough money so I could do some dance projects. Plus, I had a particular affinity for porn, but porn and my sexuality were kind of different because porn was shooting people having normal sex and normal stuff, whereas I just liked looking at butts, I think. You know,
I was going to ask you, like, I was reading and all of your stuff is all centered around butts.
Yeah.
So do you have like an fixation with like butts?
Yeah. I tried to get out, but they keep sucking me back. No, it made me, the more I got into what I really liked, the more money I made.
Yeah.
So in '89, I combined 2 ideas. One was to shoot a butt fetish movie, just oriented towards butts. Nobody had done that before in the 80s. And then I wanted to do this first-person POV thing that I'd been thinking about that somebody had kind of suggested, and I did a variation on it. And I came up with this little filler movie shot in the summer of '89 called The Adventures of Buttman. And that turned out to be really successful. Evil Angel as a company, I'd already started selling my own movies in January of that year, and this was the 9th release at Evil Angel, the first Buttman movie.
Can you let everybody know, I read about it, but can you let everyone know how you came up with Evil Angel?
Well, just Evil Angel, when I was at Chippendales, there was another guy named John, and I did this leather and chains thing, and then I did this Dracula thing, and so the MC started calling me Evil John.
Yeah.
And then I had a girlfriend around that time. She used Angel as a stage name when she entered strip contests, and I said, well, call yourself Evil Angel. And she didn't
said
want
no.
to.
Yeah.
I said, Evil Angel, what a great name. This is a real 80s rock song, you know, which was my world was formed in the 80s. You know, I was in my 30s in the 80s, and I was good. I was really good, you know, at connecting BNC cables and other kind of linear, like tape decks, deck to deck, and I got really good at that. And now it's completely worthless. So anyway.
So that is how he came up with Evil Angel.
Yes.
So you decided to, you're like, I'll just go ahead and use it. And then, so when you did your company, you decided to call it Evil Angel.
Yeah. It was a good enough name that we've still got it after all these years. I'm really happy. So
you have a butt fetish.
Yeah, I did, even ever since I was a kid, I guess. But more so since I became Buttman. You know, in Buttman, I realized, you know, I'm making a lot of money on this, and girls are letting me squeeze their asses. I'm just going to take advantage. And I did, and I made a fair amount of money from doing Adventures of Buttman. In fact, I shot a Buttman scene for this Katrina Jade movie that Evil Angel is producing itself, where I pick up 2 girls on the beach, right at the same beach where I did a lot of my first Buttman stuff. And then they go over to my house, and they do a little scene, and there's a lot of butt shots.
And is this something that's out already? Or
it'll be out by the end of this month.
And where can they go find?
On, I don't know, evilangel.com for sure. and